So first of all, good evening. And if you remember what we spoke about last night toward the end, who remember? Nobody remembers.
Not do faces, Rabbi.
What?
Not do faces. When we do the thing, you add the faces.
No, that was part of it. It was part of it. We spoke about violence in the family. Did we? Do you recall? Nobody wants to talk to me.
I don't remember.
Yes,
I discussed. Yeah, we did, but I don't think we discussed the details of it.
What?
No,
What?
I remember during Corona time you spoke about it.
Yesterday it was. What Corona time? Okay, so let me repeat what we spoke about last night. Fights, it's something that is very annoying, but this is part of life. It's part of raising kids. It's funny to hope for a house that don't have no fights. Don't even think about it. But anyway, there are situations that you're not allowed to let the fights to continue. You have to stop them. When is it? When the kids starting to get violent. So we are obligated, we must stop the fight. And now I will say something that I said last night, and I think nobody liked to hear it. That's why we have to go and seek for help. Why are our kids violent? How do we know? How can we judge if the violence that is in the relationship, what is the criteria? How do I know that when bad we have to seek help? Or maybe it's normal. How do I know? Number one, you as parents, you're not able to stop them and they keep continuing. Number two, I said last night, and last night I remember I repeated it 3 times. Now it's number 4 time. The children, they jumping on one of the brothers on a steady basis in violence, aggressiveness, and humiliating him, something is wrong. The violence is getting into action for what reason? The child wants to be the boss. He wants to rule everybody. That's a sign that this child needs fast to take him to evaluation. Something is not right. When you see in your own home there is a child which is the powerful one and the other one is the weak one. There is a captain and there is a soldier. That's not good. One of the children wants to stay away from the brother or from the siblings because he is afraid to stay alone with them. Something is wrong. Or one of the kids having an anxiety or he has fear. He doesn't want to walk even to the restroom alone. We spoke about it. We spoke about it yesterday. So if one of the things that I said just now fit the description in your house, you don't wait a minute and you seek for help, a professional help. He will not stop. How do you get to such a terrible, terrible stage in your life with your kids? How can it be? The house becomes violent. What happened over here? And the answer is the parents are not home. They don't show themselves to the kids. Each one is on his own phone. And they don't have authority. The authority the parents lost a long time ago. So this is influencing, it makes such an impact on the kids. Wow. Because they're not afraid anymore from the parents. And they're not taking the parents seriously. So they take the law into their hands and it gets into violence. So when I said, don't interfere, I didn't say don't interfere and disappear. You separate them and you sit down and say, okay, we have to figure this out. When you see that your child is using physical power, you have to check yourself. If we are not using the same thing. Maybe you're hitting the child. So when we hitting a child, he understands that this is the way to give a message across. So that's what they're going to do to the brothers and to the other siblings. So if you recognize yourself that you're using physical actions, meaning hitting your kids as on a steady basis, my advice, strongly advise, to go for counseling. Because you're devastating your kids. Now, before we'll continue with the kids, before we continue with the kids, I have to say a few things to defend them. How's the relationship between the parents? I'll tell you this much. You can have arguments in front of the kids because the kids, they're coming from a house that they never saw an argument between the parents. When they'll get married, and they will think life is like that because they never saw argument at home. The first argument that they're going to have with the spouse is going to wind up in the bed din. They say something is not normal. We never saw it. So there is argument that you have to show the kids that sometimes a couple have, disagreement, but depends on what and what language we're using, how much respect there is there. I can disagree with you and still love you. Example, they want to buy a new couch. She's saying, I like it, brown color. He says, brown is too dull, Let's buy something around that. Let's buy white. She said, white is no good. The kids will make it dirty, and then I have to clean all the time. He said, okay, what's the big deal to say? So you clean, but at least it's nice. So she's saying, no, I don't want. So the kids can pick up that there is argument over here, but a normal one. You don't say, you fool, you have no taste, this, all the things that we know. There is respect over here. Depends what we argue about and how important it is. So now, you have to teach your kids, that sometimes when they come with other friends, not everybody is going to agree with them. So how are you going to fix up disagreement? So the parents have to choose what to do in front of the kids and what not in front of the kids. Color, taste. Should we go to the wedding? We should not go. What to do, how to do things, it's not the end of the world. But if the kids are seeing machloket that includes expression of hatred, and it's very much exposed, screaming, embarrassing, humiliating. Now the argument is damageful. Even though one is jumping and the other one is not answering back. The children get very, very hurt when they see this. When they see that the parents showing, hostile against each other, is so much damage to the neshama of the kid. Whoa, why? So now, to each one, I'm going to describe one by one. To know that the kids, now they need to go to therapy, someone caused it. Unfortunately, it's us. Unfortunately. A kid was not born like that. So now, Abba and Ima on a constant fight. The confrontation is very stormy. The atmosphere in the house is like a war zone. When they attacking each other with no boundaries. What the kids supposed to do now? I'm asking you, all the parents here, what do you think a child feels? Can someone in the class can be honest?
They feel guilty.
Feels terrible. He said it's his fault. They're
They,
arguing.
they feel unsafe.
They don't know what to do. They're confused.
Can someone here be honest and say how he felt when he was a child, when his parents used to jump on each other?
Scared.
Huh?
Scared. And felt that it's what's going to be with everything. How is
if mom and dad are still going to be there, if they're going to love each other, if they're going to love me.
So now the children feel we have to do like, countries, when they feel that the other country will attack them, they try to make treaties with other countries, so they're coming as a unit. The child looking now who to connect to make a treaty. If he'll take him aside, Abba will be his enemy. If he'll take Abba's side, Ima will get hurt. So what the child will do now? So we're calling it triangulation. You triangle. Abba is one end, Ima is the other end, and the child on the bottom. And the child is confused. Even after everything quiet down, he says, if I'll be nice to Ima, Abba will get hurt. If I'll be nice to Abba, Ima will get hurt. What shall I do? What the child supposed to do? Now, what is an anxiety? When a policeman stops you, they woo, pull to the side, please, right? It says, license and registration, please. How do you feel?
Heart pumping, nervous.
Nervous, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, imagine a child that lives in a house that their parents attacking each other verbally. These kids, they developing an anxiety way above the normal. And you see the symptoms. And the anxiety bring them to what? They cannot sleep. You hear them at night screaming, shouting in the middle of the sleep. Stomach ache. And you don't know where it's coming from. You're taking the child to a doctor. He says the child is fine, but he has a stomach ache all the time. Headaches. And the child become a warrior, chronical one. So now they're losing their self-confidence, that's for sure. You have to give them extra portions of encouragement and to calm them down. And these kids always, everything that they're going to have overnight, something catastrophic is about to happen. Catastrophe. And from every scenario, they're going to interpret it to the worst outcome that can be. The child is devastated. Why the kids have an anxiety when the parents fighting among themselves? They're not fighting with you. Why you feel so bad? So you know what? You fight over there. Okay. Good for you. Because the child is afraid the most. The most. You know from what? That the parents will get a divorce. There is nothing in this earth that threatening the child life like the possibility that the parents will get a divorce. Even sicknesses and death, even death in the family will not make such an impact like the parents are going to get a divorce. They cannot even think about it.
Rabbi, I have a question. Where do kids come up with that idea of parents getting a divorce? Like, for example, I don't think my kids know what that means. Like, I don't think that thought would, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think my kids would think of such an idea that when the parents argue or when there's something going on, that the parents would get a divorce. I don't think they don't know what that is.
They will not tell you. They will not tell you.
But where do they come up with that idea? Like, how would they know about it?
They see two people are jumping on each other, so they have some common sense. Why they should stay together?
Thank you.
So now, sometimes we're saying, you know, my child don't want to go to school. He's afraid in school. He wants to stay home. So let me tell you, he wants to stay home, not because he's afraid from the school, no. He thinks that if he will stay home, right, maybe he will going to be able to prevent the divorce. He doesn't want to go to school.
So he takes the burden upon himself, Rav?
Yeah. I'm coming to it. How come a child all of a sudden become depressed? And sometimes he coming in a later age, 15, 16, 19. Where is it coming from? What are you depressed about? Kids, when they see hostiles between the parents and expose one, their depression will become chronic depression. Chronic. It's going to be very difficult to come out of it. They'll be always sad, and they're going to look like they gave up already on life. And their depression is the outcome of not having shalom bayit within the parents. So what happens when the child is depressed? He doesn't want any friends. They're very difficult to associate with other kids or to call their old friends. They don't want to. So if he is already that close within himself, and if he's not going to take care of it, it will become something chronical. For all his life, that's how he's going to be. And it's going to be almost, I'm saying almost, irreversible. Irreversible. So now when we see our child depressed, how do we feel?
Helpless, worried.
How did it happen? They're going to take him now to psychologists, evaluation, therapy. Even they're going to give him pills to help the kids. To help the kids? Now, when the therapist, if he is a good one, he'll start to dig and he will call the parents and he says, this is your product. You caused it. Are they going to accept it?
No, they'll blame it on the school or some other
They
administration.
said, the therapist is no good. The therapist is no good. Why? He blaming us. Who else? Who else? So if your kids seeing you arguing loudly in front of them, and the language is a terrible one, the voices are high pitch as you can go, you have to know that your kids are in danger. The kids that you're claiming that you love so much, you in your own hands, Abba and Ima, you're damaging your own kids. Is that what Hashem wants? So the kids can develop an anxiety and it can develop depression or both of them together. Did you see once kids blaming themselves for their Stombai problems?
Yes.
And now they're trying to make peace between the parents. The kid, the cucumber, he has to make peace between the farmers. How did we get to it? How did we get to such a point? Even though the teenagers and sometimes you 20 years old or 18 years old, they know that the fight is not because of them now. They know already. It's because of the parents. Still, they want to do something to stop it. They're going to Iba, they're going to Abba, please, maybe you do this, maybe you do that. Why the child have to do it? And why is he doing it? Here we go. You are in the car, 7 people are in the car on the highway, and now Abba and Ima starting to fight. Abba left his hand from the wheel and is talking to Ima Kara. Ima doing that, and the car is going left and right, left and right. What the child, the 18 years old, what do you think he will do? From the back seat, he will jump and he will hold the wheel. Yes or no? Somebody have to hold this wheel. That's exactly how kids feels. Abba lost it, Ima lost it. Somebody have to hold the wheel. So the kids feel necessity. We must interfere to make peace between our parents that brought us to the world. It's such an embarrassment. So now here we go. Before the kids going to school, what do they learn? How to walk, how to talk, to be toilet trained, yes? How to eat by themselves, then they're ready to go to school. How did you do it? He did it on his own or you were there?
We, the parents, were there.
Only when the parents are there. You were part of it. So if we like it or not, our kids are imitating us. How we behave in general. Not only parts that we want them to adopt, also the not nice parts that we have, also they're adapting that because that's what they see. So if we come and we talk gently to each other, our kids will learn from us self-control. We are the teacher. The same way we told them how to eat, the same way we taught them how to walk, now we taught them how to control yourself, talk gently, be calm. But on the other hand, if we're losing control and we attacking our spouse publicly, this is how the child will be. He said, I saw it at home. Probably that's how we have to argue And in school, that's what he will do. Now, when they becoming like that, it's not only with the friends or the siblings, no, to the teachers also. When they go to camp, they'll do the same thing. They'll fight with the counselor, they fight with the teacher, they're gonna answer back. Where is it coming from? And even to the parents, they talk like that. They're gonna do the same, movement that you do, pitom, you're gonna see it by your kids. And you're gonna lose yourself. Now, if that's what they have in the subconscious already, this style of aggressiveness and rebellion, when they go to school, to high school, and later on, that's who they're gonna be, aggressive, and also to the marriage life. Imagine you marry somebody like that. Aggressive, and he is a rebel. That's what you're doing. We're gonna make a revolution now. That's not gonna be a nice thing, Bichlal, no. So now, after we see, I told you all the damages that can happen. Are we ready to change?
Yes, Rabbi, yes.
We must change. Question is how.
I didn't tell you how yet. I'm just asking a question, looking for an answer from everybody. If this is the case, do you want to change, yes or no?
Yes, Rabbi.
Mazal tov v'siman tov. Who else?
What's the question, Rabbi? I'm sorry, I missed it.
If everything that I said until now, hopefully I spoke to people and not to myself. Okay, I hope so. Now, the kids are suffering. We see it every day in school. We see it. We feel bad for the kids. Are we as parents ready to change the atmosphere in the house? Yes or no?
Yes, Rabbi, definitely.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought that I will hear a choir, but probably the choir went to eat supper now.
We need 34 more people.
You're not going to run away from the reality because the reality will hit you.
Rabbi, reality is hitting us already.
I'm asking again. Are the parents over here ready to take upon themselves to change?
Yes.
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 Rabbi.
Yes.
Yes.
Mazal tov v'siman
Wow.
tov.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You think it's too late?
No,
No.
No.
Never is too late.
No.
never
Hopefully
too late.
not.
Never too late. Now I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
Now you know we are here, Rabbi.
Yeah, now I know you're here, Baruch Hashem. The damage already been done. Now can we reverse it? Let's see. First of all, the husband and the wife have to sit down and say, we have to stop this. We'll make a rule, okay? Next to the kids, no matter what, we're going to control ourselves. We'll leave everything for later on when the kids going to sleep, then we'll talk. You remember that we spoke about that 10 minutes? Huh?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's
She
the place
talks
to
for
talk
10
about it.
minutes and then he returns the next day with
Good.
an answer.
This is the time to talk about this. I didn't like I didn't like how you talk to the child. I was very upset. Not you, me. Okay.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Spoke about it before, right.
Now, don't ask your spouse, are we in it together? This is not going to help us to know with the head. We have to have a full agreement. You have to discuss among yourself what criticism is good and which one is not allowed. So now if you see that one of the spouses is already just about to cross the limit, you said, by the way, your mother called today. That's a code that you crossing the lines. The kids, they don't know that. You say, by the way, your mother called today. So, opa, okay. Thank you for reminding me, because for us it's already quite routine. Somebody have to be on top of it. If you feel that can we talk about it later on? The kids know that there is, disagreements over here, but at least it's not next to them. But now I want to bring the main point. And that's the main point. And it will ease up many of the fights in the house. It's not going to disappear completely, but it will ease it up a lot. Hear me out. Let's say you made already 5 years, 10 years, you did all the mistakes in all the books. You didn't miss even one mistake. Can we fix the damage? The answer is yes. And yes, and yes. what we will do. Abba is coming home, Ima is home, sit with the kids on the table, and the kid says, what happened? Abba came early, Ima fixed the table. Important? Now it's time to confess, to admit to the kids, and here we go. We know that the atmosphere at home was very difficult for you. Abba and me, we decided, or Abba talking now. So Ima and me, we decided we're going to change it. As of today. And you tell them what you're going to do. Let them participate. Abba and Ima are going for counseling. What? I have to tell my child that I'm going to a counseling? What? Yes. Isn't it personal? Why my child have to know that? The relationship between you and your wife that's supposed to be inside the room was exposed, screaming, shouting, that was good. So now the fixing also has to be publicly. Don't hide it from the kids. Now you're choosing to fix it, and now you're going to keep it as a secret? When you're telling your kids what steps you're going to take, you're giving them, wow, hope. Right away they have hope. And it's a big step, huge step, in order to minimize the damage. Addition to all this, you're telling the kids, we know that because of us arguing, you have in the house a very difficult time. Painful time. Painful experiences.
At what age, Rabbi, you can sit and talk to them like this?
7, 8.
Not less than that.
Even less than this.
You should be
Rabbi?
this, even less than this. You should be open like this to
Yeah.
like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rabbi, but usually when the parents are fighting, they don't even think of their kids, of listening or whatever. They're just being angry at each other.
Okay,
Or
but
whatever
the kids
case
are
it
there.
is.
But the kids are there, no?
Yeah, they are.
No? So you're letting the kids know that there's something that they should not feel that something is wrong with them. That's what the kids feels. Now they know something is wrong here. So they'll calm down. This is a refuah, it's a medicine to the neshama that wounded, bleeding. This will stop the bleeding right away. Abba and Ima became a team now. They want to correct it. And they said, we hurted you. We're sorry that we did it. to you. We feel awful that we did it to you. From now on, you're not going to have it. And show them empathy. You take a child and says, probably it was very difficult for you to hear me and Ima shouting at each other. Huh? And the child says, finally somebody knows what I went through. Finally they show me empathy. I was lost. I was lost.
Rabbi, would they acknowledge that?
Of course they acknowledge it. Everybody will acknowledge it. The parents apologizing to the kids, letting them know that they know how they feel. We're going to learn, we're going to counseling, we're going to therapy. The kids will see two responsible people came over here now. They know what they're doing. So the confidence that they lost slowly will come back. By doing this, you're supporting the child. You're showing that you care for the child. But more than that, you're a very good role model. Of what? You're teaching them how to admit when you made a mistake. You see, Abba and Ima came and admitted. What a chinuch. To take responsibility on the outcome and to take the right steps to fix it. This is what the child learns at home. Do you know what impact it will do on the neshama of the child? And once a month, you're calling a meeting like that, sitting with the kids, say, okay, kids, how do you feel now? The atmosphere in the house. You like it now? Tell us the truth. Whatever you don't like, we'll try to change. All right? We want you to feel secure. We want you to feel happy. Happy to be home. We want to create atmosphere. These kids, I'm telling you, we're repairing almost every wound. Can we do it?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
With your help, Rabbi.
Now what?
With your help, Rabbi.
I'm not going to be there.
With your words that we are listening every lecture, 100 hours of learning a day, it's going to make us a difference in the house, Rabbi.
I hope so. So now, can you gather your kids and the husband should come home early? Can we do it?
Yes.
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 But first of all, you have to come to agreement with the spouse. Do we care for the kids? Or we care only for our ego?
We care for our kids.
So we have to take steps. What we're doing next to the kids and what we will not do next to the kids, no matter what. So we will learn how to control ourselves. and we're going to seek for help. Most people don't want help. They feel that help is embarrassment. How many times I have to say it? Who came up with the crazy idea that to learn is embarrassment? All these books over here is an embarrassment. Since when we know everything? Since when? And to raise a child and to create relationship with a spouse is one of the most difficult things on earth. I don't know if you heard my class on Motzei Shabbat. Only to communicate. How to communicate? We need at least 18 hours. And this is one part of the relationship. $18 hours. Who taught you how to communicate? So when kids becoming aggressive, violent, they bite, they punch, this, Abba and Ima should sit down, evaluate the situation. Something in the house is wrong. Don't live in denial. A wife have to call the police on the husband. Such a chilul Hashem, but she have no choice. It's a chilul Hashem that you cannot even think how it's chilul Hashem. But what can she do? Aggressive.
Rob, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are we talking about kids that are just having aggressive reactions or treating others in an aggressive manner typically? Or are we talking about like, you know, he didn't share his toys, so he's going to hit his little brother, or he's going to pull something from him? I'm not saying one is different from the other, but I'm kind of asking like, I've seen kids that look like they're like angry inside. And then I've seen kids that are just like rowdy, if that makes sense. Is there a difference between the two?
It's all coming from the same place. That's how he knows how to react.
Right.
Where did he pick that up?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, let's say there is no, like, let's say the parents aren't like violent at home, or there aren't like violent situations and whatnot, but you still see kids like not sharing their toy or not liking something and just like pushing the other one or like shoving or
That's
I don't know,
okay.
or whatever.
That's normal.
That's what I'm asking. What is normal and what is not considered already like beyond the norm?
When the other kid wants to take his toy, he wants to defend himself. Okay.
Right.
I can see it. But if every argument is start, boom, pop.
Right. So if it's like immediate reaction.
If you disagree with me, boom.
Right. Okay. I understand. Thank you, Rob.
You don't want to give me your toy? Tach. He will not sit there and says, you know, maybe I can play also. You don't want? Boom. That's it.
Rob, isn't that considered bullying?
Huh?
Is that considered bullying?
If it's going all the time, yes.
So in school, when you see children are bullying other children, that means that those typical children come from abusive homes?
Absolutely. I'm telling it to you with no hesitation.
So with the way the child is behaving, that means we can tell what's going around in the house with the parents.
It will take me 2 minutes.
Rabbi, how do you deal with such cases? Like my son comes to me and tells me that one of the boys bullies me in school. Well, what should I tell him?
The school have to call the parents and to see what's going on at home.
Yeah, but my son is, this is something that was taken out of him. Like when he keeps quiet about it.
The school have to be aware of all this. You see, in order for a problem to be fixed, somebody have to know about it.
Quadab, what if the principal of the school does know and the child continues bullying another child? And they already spoke to the mother numerous times, but it still continues, it doesn't stop. What do you do then? And the child continues being bullied.
The principal should say to the parents, you take your child for evaluation, okay? Until then, he cannot be in the class.
So we should, as a parent, call the school and talk to the principal and bring this to the surface?
I will go to the school.
But what if the parents are in denial, the way Rabbi mentioned before, and they are very considered that they're not pulling out the child or they're not doing evaluation on the child? So it's also considered that the principal can't, isn't it the same thing as the principal throwing out the child from school by telling the parents?
But if the parents don't want to take action, they have the responsibility. Why he have to do it? Again, the school cannot be a parent. A school will advise you what to do. We want to dump everything on the school. And I see the parents' reaction. The moment that the school says your child needs evaluation, the parents, they devastated. Why are they devastated? I don't understand.
Because it shows that there's something wrong.
So you have to fix it.
Right. That's the
Why,
problem.
when physically something is wrong, we're running to the doctor? And why, if something in the emotion is not okay, why are we trying to neglect it? You think that the child not suffering? Is the child suffering, yes or no?
Definitely.
100%.
No. So what kind of parents will let the child suffer?
Rav, what if a child was bullied and the mother did reach out to the child's mother, and she complained, and the feedback from the parent was, you have to teach your child to be a little bit thicker skin. Your child is too sensitive.
Who said it?
How are we supposed to react to such type of
Who said it?
mother that
Who said it?
was bullying?
She's saying it's the mom of the boy that, or the girl that was bullying her child, the parent of the bully.
Now you know where the bullying is coming from.
Right, so you can't help a child if the parents themselves need help.
The school have to do it. This is the responsibility of the school. Call the parents, tell them, Rabotai, the child having a problem. You have to take him, and we have to see what the psychologist will say.
The school decided to take
We can't hear you.
The school decided to take both of the children and to put them into lower classes as a consequence. And the child who's innocent, who was bullied, feels it's unfair.
Of course it's
so
unfair.
So what the mother did was she took the child out of the school. She was very disappointed at how the school dealt the situation, and she just put her child into a different school.
This school
Is that the proper thing to do?
The school is not professional.
Not professional.
No.
Right. So it's a smart move that the mother took the child out of that school and put the child in a different school. Then,
if that's what they did, if what you're saying is accurate, yes, I will not leave my child there.
But Quarav, let's say your child is being bullied or was bullied. How do you explain to the child to ignore it and not to pay attention to it?
You cannot ignore it because it's not healthy and it's not good. The school have to get on top of it immediately. There is some behavior that you cannot allow in the school.
But what if the child did get help?
What?
But Quarav, what if the child did get? What if the child that's being bullied did get help and continues doing it? Then what?
So
by having a
he
therapist,
has to
the
go
child
back.
still do.
So the help is not good. He took antibiotic and he's still sick. No?
You still mention to the school that the bullying continues, even though.
Yes. Yes.
But what if the mother, you call the mother, for example, and you tell the child, or the mother calls you and tells you, I'm sorry for my child bullying your daughter. She's having help. I don't know what to do. What do you say? What's your response supposed to be?
It's coming from home.
Right, but what are you supposed to say? Like
don't
the mother.
Call the parents. The parents are involved.
No, the parents calling you to ask you to say, I'm sorry on behalf of the child for your child being bullied. And she says, my child gets help and everything. I don't know what to do. What is your response to the mother supposed to be?
Okay, I feel bad for you, yes. But meantime, my child suffers.
All right, thank you.
Rav, I'm sorry, can I ask another question? How do you deal with the child that you notice every little thing that he tries to do, he gets nervous very fast? Like if he's trying to fix the toy, it's not working out the way he wants it. So right away he starts to yell and scream and gets very annoyed, or like anything.
Someone in the house is impatient.
I know that somebody in the house is impatient. Can it also be like the DNA formation of like let's say you know of a spouse that was like that when they were young. So when the spouse sees the child, the spouse says, oh, he's just like me. I was like that.
This kind of things is not going.
So how can you help this child? So how do you help this child? By teaching him to be more patient.
Okay, so now Ima have to learn how to be more patient. And then you and the child will exercise it. I have to see it.
So meaning every time my child gets nervous, I'll come.
You see, in order to judge it, I have to see it. I'm just saying to you, generally speaking. Generally speaking. Okay, Rabotai, our time is up.
Thank you very much, Rob. Thank you.
By tomorrow, I'll test you again.
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
Okay?
Thank you, Rob.
Rabbi, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
In terms of bullying, is it okay to take my child to self-defense classes? No, why not?
Jews not doing such things.
But if the kid is suffering because he's being picked on, because he's nice and generous and whatever, and he's being bullied because of his, the way he is, generosity, right?
Then he will become Mr. Bully. You don't want it.
But he's trying to defend himself.
Be a Jew, It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Be a Jew is good.
Yagru Zodam Mission.
Okay, Rabotai, have a good night.
Thank you, Rob. Have a
See
good
you
night.
tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the session.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Have a good night, brother.
Night.
Mola Rachamin.
ולא רחמי חורף.
Rachamin, you left?